Authorities report missing persons in the Davao de Oro landslide rose to over 100. As of 4 p.m. on Thursday, Baco Municipal Information Office recorded 110 missing persons in connection with the landslide that engulfed parts of a mining village and buried 2 buses used to ferry employees of Apex Mining on Tuesday. Out of the 110 missing persons, 45 are Apex employees. The confirmed deaths climbed to 11 while 31 were injured. Baco Information Officer Giselle May Tan says the command post set up by the local government in Barangay Elizalde had been receiving a stream of families reporting about missing members. Provincial Disaster Agency official Edward Macapili says while rescuers were using heavy earth-moving equipment, they had to rely on their bare hands and shovels in a desperate search for survivors in areas where they believed there were bodies. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. fully supports efforts to amend the 1987 Constitution but stresses that it will be for economic matters alone. In a speech during the celebration of Constitution Day in Makati City, the president says that while the charter offered no dynamism or flexibility regarding the national territory, it is however open to economic reforms.
I want to make it clear. This administration's position in introducing reforms to our Constitution extend to economic matters alone, or those strategically aimed at boosting our country's economy. Nothing more.
In January, Marcos said his immediate concern was easing the Charter's economic provisions, but cleared that he is against land ownership by foreigners, which many politicians and business groups were pushing for. He adds that he will not meddle in the disagreement between the 2 chambers of Congress over the People's Initiative for Charter Change. Meanwhile, House Speaker Martin Romualdez was elated with the president's remarks and praised his assurance that his support for constitutional amendments was solely for economic reforms. President Bongbong Marcos says that calls for a separate Mindanao are doomed to fail and urged all of its proponents to stop their attempts. During the Constitution Day ceremonies in Makati City, Marcos reminds lawmakers that they are meant to protect the Constitution.
The new call for a separate Mindanao is doomed to fail, for it is anchored on a false premise, not to mention a sheer constitutional travesty. The current leadership of BARM itself has repudiated this preposterous proposal, and so did the other political leaders of Mindanao.
Marcos appeals to all concerned proponents to stop their attempts, adding that this is a grave violation of the Constitution and that such acts will only ruin the country.
I strongly appeal to all concerned to stop this call for a separate Mindanao. It is a grave violation of the Constitution. Hindi ito ang bagong Pilipinas na ating hinuhubog. Bagkus, ito ay pagwasak mismo sa ating bansang Pilipinas.
Marcos didn't mention former President Rodrigo Duterte's name as well as his remarks on the independent Mindanao, but alluded only to a predecessor. The president further says that the Constitution called for a united Philippines and stands firm that our national territory will not be broken apart.
I have said it before, and I will say it again here. Our national territory will not be diminished, even by 1 square inch. We will continue to defend it against any and all threats, external and internal. We will not allow even an iota of a suggestion of its breaking apart.